This is Valley News Live at 5.
Tonight at 5, we're learning that Stanford Health was prepared for the COVID-19 variant strain to hit North Dakota. At noon today, we broke the news that the COVID-19 variant that was first detected in the United Kingdom has made its way to the state, something Vice President Dr. Doug Griffin says he isn't at all surprised about. Dr. Griffin says it's normal to see mutations cause other variants. And although we don't know where exactly in the state the cases are, we do know that two people who are close to each other are the two impacted. One of them had recently returned from domestic travel. Dr. Griffin says the best way to protect yourself is with the COVID vaccine.
And I think the reason that the number of vaccines given per day has gone up is that North Dakota, we've been very efficient in giving our vaccine. I think other states are catching up and ramping up their efficiency and giving the doses that they've been able to get.
Dr. Griffin is anticipating children ages 12 and younger could have the vaccine offered to them by mid to late summer. In a special meeting this afternoon, Fargo City Commissioners voted 3-1 to extend Fargo's mask mandate until March 22nd. The Fargo Cass Board of Health asked commissioners to extend the mandate, which went into effect in mid-October, stating masks help kids stay in school and keep teachers safe as most are still not vaccinated. To view the meeting in its entirety, just head to our website, valleynewslive.com. The city of West Fargo has decided to extend its mask strategy until May 3rd. City commissioners say the mask strategy strongly encourages the public to continue to wear a mask when they're unable to keep 6 feet of distance between others. Under the revised state plan and city strategy, businesses are strongly encouraged to establish a limit on the number of occupants allowed inside to 65% of capacity with a cap of 200 people. Businesses are also encouraged to implement social distancing practices and require all occupants to wear face masks. There is no penalty for not following the new mask strategy in West Fargo. The cold is still hanging around, but we've turned a corner, in Hutch's words, away from all that wind chill advisory nonsense. He's here now with the more positive news. Hutch.
Oh, yeah, it does feel good not to have to worry about wind chill advisories and warnings, and we are turning that corner. In fact, high temperatures today in the upper single digits to around 10 degrees. Jamestown 11 degrees, and Waskish and Baudette also in that category. And take a look at this and let it sink in, Andrea. There's no wind chill advisories. It's a blank map, so we don't have to worry about wind chills tonight. They will be a little cool, but certainly not like we've been. Right now, temperatures between 5 and 10 degrees for most of our area, and we will slip down to near zero by bedtime tonight. We'll have a fair amount of clouds still in the area during the overnight hours. In Grand Forks, clear now, increasing clouds overnight. South-southwest winds will be light, so wind chill not an issue. We will sneak down below zero, but I have even better news for high temperatures over the next few days. I'll detail that, and we'll talk about a few chances of flaky weather in our forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. The man police say is responsible for a deadly crash over the weekend has now been officially charged. 19-year-old Elijah Vistens is charged with criminal vehicular homicide, negligent duty to give information and aid in a death, minor in consumption or possession, and minor in a liquor establishment. Police say 21-year-old Isaiah Johnson was in the car with Vistens at the time of the single-car crash and was thrown from the passenger seat and died from his injuries. Vistens is not yet in custody. Official documents with details of what led up to the February 13th crash are not available to the public yet because until Vistens is booked into jail. The Fargo Police Department is asking for your help in finding two runaway teens. Carter HOLTZ and Randall Bushy were last seen at the Dakota Boys and Girls Ranch at 7151 15th Street South on Sunday afternoon around 2:45. HOLTZ is 16 years old and described as 5'5", 144 pounds, with brown eyes and brown hair. He was last seen wearing a black coat, gray sweatshirt, gray pants, black hat, and black glasses. Bushy is also 16 years old and described as 5'2", 170 pounds, with brown eyes and red hair. He was last seen wearing a red coat, gray sweatshirt, gray pants, and dark blue hat. If you know where they are, you're asked to contact authorities at the number on your screen. The search also continues for a missing Bemidji teenager. 13-year-old Kaya Hawk was last seen Saturday at the Walmart in town, and police say it appears she left the area voluntarily. She was last seen wearing a red hooded sweatshirt and black Nike shoes. Police say the investigation continues into a former West Fargo school teacher who suddenly resigned his position more than 2 weeks ago. Authorities say at this point no charges have been filed against Ron Thompson. A search warrant was served on his property February 2nd, the same day he turned in a letter of resignation. Police say the case is not tied to his position or students. A 7-year-old North Dakota boy is recovering in a Twin Cities burn center after a house fire in the Southern Valley. Officials say the call about a fire came in around 9 Sunday morning in Gwinner, which is in Sargent County. Sheriff Travis Paper says the child's grandmother suffered burns and frostbite on her feet. She tells us the fire's cause was electrical. Several pets died in the fire, including an iguana, and the home was considered a total loss. Minneapolis leaders are laying out some of the city's preparations for the trial of a former police officer charged with killing George Floyd. Derek Chauvin's trial is scheduled to start next month, with jury selection beginning March 8th and opening statements set for 3 weeks later. Chauvin is charged with unintentional second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in Floyd's death. He's the officer shown on video with his knee on Floyd's neck. The city's mayor says public safety is the key concern during the trial and then after.
There will be an increasing presence of law enforcement that will increase throughout the trial and will reach full capacity as we move closer into both jury deliberations as well as the jury verdict. As I mentioned, it's around 2,000 National Guard at peak capacity and up to 2,000 with 1,100 law enforcement from 12 different jurisdictions.
Fry says as they lead into this trial, there's great frustration, anxiety, and trauma in the state of Minnesota. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has announced an update to the state's Safe Learning Plan to allow more high school and middle school students to return to classrooms next week. Starting on Monday, all middle and high school students can return to classrooms for hybrid or in-person learning. Governor Walz expects all schools in the state to offer some form of in-person learning by March 8th. Districts that have already implemented hybrid or in-person learning models can continue. For families who don't feel comfortable sending a student back to the classroom, distance learning will still be an option.
We have made extraordinary progress in COVID-19. We are at case positivity rates that mirror last summer. Some of that is the nature of this virus, but a whole lot of it is because of decisions that you chose to make, whether it be masking or social distancing, or the sacrifices we've especially asked of our students and small businesses.
The superintendent for Moorhead Area Public Schools says high schoolers will be brought back in person full-time on March 8th. Pre-K through 8th graders are already learning in person. Staying on top of the latest COVID vaccine-related information is easy. All you need to do is use our VNL vaccine tracker. To check it out, you can visit our website or simply open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen and then tap the link that pops up. And college football is back. The Bison will take on Youngstown State on Sunday for their first game of the spring season. The Farmers Union Insurance pregame show starts at 1:30, taking you all the way up to kickoff at 2:30. You can catch all the action on KVLY. We first told you about this Fargo native and his mission last week. Gunnar Johnson is racing in the Alaskan Iditarod. To promote suicide prevention awareness, he's asking you to share the names of loved ones who have died by suicide so he can carry them during the race. Since sharing his story, the list has doubled with more than 500 names. We have details on how you can submit a name. Just head to our website and click on this story. Radio pioneer and conservative talk show host Rush Limbaugh has died. His wife, Catherine, announced his death today on his radio show. The media icon passing away after his year-long battle with lung cancer. Jeff Bennett has more on Limbaugh's life and career.
Broadcasting icon and a powerful and controversial voice in Republican politics.
I have a question for the Democrats. When are you people going to get tired of losing?
His self-titled show was the most listened to radio talk show in America.
I am Rush Limbaugh, America's real anchorman.
By the time he was 8 years old, Rush Limbaugh had set his sights on a career in radio, getting his start by playing records on a toy radio in his bedroom. That enthusiasm and singular focus carried through his teens. Limbaugh quit college to become a rock and roll DJ. Following a few false starts, he eventually found a footing in talk radio. His reputation as a right-wing diehard quickly drew a following on a local station in Sacramento. The show's success earned him a national audience through syndication in 1988. The Rush Limbaugh Show quickly became known for its extreme conservative slant and Limbaugh's at times racist and bigoted commentary.
We need segregated buses. This Obama's America.
The NFL all too often looks like a game between the Bloods and the Crips without any weapons. There, I said it. Look, there is no question that we're being invaded by immigration, illegal immigration. America's still not ready to elect a gay guy kissing his husband on the debate stage president.
A kingmaker in conservative politics, Limbaugh was a staunch ally of President Trump's.
Good times, bad times, he doesn't waver because he's tough as hell.
Mr. Trump rewarding Limbaugh's loyalty by bestowing the Presidential Medal of Freedom during his State of the Union speech. Limbaugh visibly emotional, having announced his diagnosis of stage 4 lung cancer just a day earlier.
So I have to tell you something today that I wish I didn't have to tell you. I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
Limbaugh had beaten other health challenges, losing his hearing in 2000 before getting cochlear implants. Later, missing his show when he sought treatment for an addiction to prescription painkillers.
My goal was to be the most listened to show, biggest radio show in the country. You all have made it possible.
Rush Limbaugh, always brash, bold, powerful, and polarizing. Jeff Bennett, NBC News, Washington.
Rush Limbaugh was 70 years old. Up next, JetBlue's cheapest tickets are getting cheaper, but there's a major catch.
Warm-up is in full swing as we have temperatures outside in Fargo still a little cooler than in Hutch's refrigerator, but we're going in the right direction. Your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up, and it does look warmer. Maybe not this warm, but warmer. Details next.